Hello all. I want to show you about these financial calculators, and you have used one of these before. But today, for this week, we are going to learn significantly about these financial calculators. As you see, this is calculator.net, and I click here. One of them is mortgage calculator, and it is one of our discussions here. If you look at here, there is a mortgage calculator here. I click here and I click here. And I have to look at this and show you what the meaning of this calculator is and what it is trying to do, what this calculator is trying to do. And if you look at here, is that this is just the default number here. In your case, I want you, if you would, change it to whatever you are interested. Let's say you want to buy a house. Here, for example, in my case, I want to buy a house, and the price of the house is $400,000. My down payment is 20%, and I want to pay it back in 30 years. The bank is telling me that the interest rates are at 6.408% annually. And these are the other expenses that I have. I have to pay taxes, property taxes, which is 1.2% of the property. Let's not forget the property is 400,000. 1.2% maybe is something around $5,000 a year. It calculates it. Home insurance, I have to buy insurance for my home, and this is annually, of course, and as you know, every month it might be 100 something. And PMI is zero. PMI means private mortgage insurance, and the people who put less than 20% down, it becomes a risk for the banks when the people buy a house with less than 20%. That means if they put 10% down, the bank asks them to get a kind of insurance, additional insurance, that if one day they they are in default in paying their mortgage, this insurance company can take care of the bank loss. Therefore, but because here we are putting 20%, therefore we are not putting we are not buying any PMI. And also HOA means home association fee. As you all know, apartments usually have a kind of association fee, because in apartments you have, let's say, a swimming pool that everybody is using, therefore we have to pay for that. You have a security guard. But when you buy the house, usually you do not have that home association fee unless that house is in a kind of community, gated community. For this particular house, there is not any association fee, and other costs are $4,000. And when I click calculate, it will calculate it, and this is my monthly payment for this house. That means every month I have to pay $2,003. More mortgage payment, which means this is what I pay to the bank actually. And that is a monthly, I have to pay $2,003.30. In 30 years, you know how much it will be? 30 years means 360 payments, because each year we have 12 months. If you multiply 12 by 30, that is 360, which means 360 times I pay this much, and that is how much I will go out of my pocket. I have to pay all of my payments. Then my property taxes are $400 a year. And as you see, this, 1.2%, it was 1.2%, that comes to $400, which means in matter of 30 years, this is how much I have to pay for the property taxes. I'm sorry, this is for month. Every month I am paying $400 in taxes for the property. And if you multiply this 400 by the 360, that is what we are paying for the taxes for 30 years. Home insurance also is 125. That is $1,500 a year, $125 a month. That will be my, after 30 years, that is how much I am paying. Other costs, $333, and then that is where this comes from. You divide this $400 for 4,000 by 12, you get this much. And this is after 30 years, this is what I am paying, which means that means every month, I have to come up with this much money. Out of this, I have to pay for my mortgage and this and this and this. And then every month I have to pay around $3,000. After 1 year, 30 years, I have paid $1 million and something, for the house that I bought for $400,000. Therefore, because the house was 400,000, I put 20% down. 20% means 80,000. I put down, that is what the loan amount I got. That is the 80,000 that I put down. And then the total mortgage, as I said, is this number, which is the same number that you saw here. The interest that I pay is $1,000 of the interest I pay. And if you look at this chart, you will see that I am borrowing. As you see, the amount of money I am borrowing is 320,000. It is this blue line. As you see, as it goes down after 30 years, it becomes to zero. This green one is the interest I am paying. This interest, as you know, in first payment, I don't pay any interest. I don't pay at the beginning. Then as time goes by, the interest adds up and all the way it goes up. And do you see the interest was 401,000 here? After 30 years, I have paid 401,000. And also I have paid the principal. Not only I have paid the interest, I have paid the principal. How much principal was? It's 320. From this green to this red is 320. If we add all of these together, that is what, is total payment I have paid. That means I have paid the 320,000 and I have paid the interest. The total comes to 721. At this point, this you look at here, it is 721. And then let's say, as you know, this is the amortization table. In year 5, if I want to pay off the bank, I have to pay $299,000. At the beginning, first year, I owed, this much. After, at the end of first year, after 5 years, this is what I pay. And then the first year, in 1 year, this much will be deducted from the principal, and it goes on and on. Now, what I will do, I am going to copy this one from here and all of these, all the way from here until, the year 5 would be enough. I copy this one from here and I go in here and I click mortgage calculator and I click create thread and I say, suppose mortgage calculator, for example, and then I paste it here to show that I understood this one. After I do it, in your case, what I want you to do, after I come here, I will write what it is. That way I can show that I can write things in here. That way you know what is happening here. Look at here, I drag this one from here to make it larger. And here I explained what has happened. Here is, this is the home price. I put my note here. Say, this is the house I want to buy. And then here is that I will put down payment, and then I put here, this is my down payment. Oops. This is my down payment. Of course, it is in percentage. And then what in your case, I want you to change this number and come back here and type these things, that what each one of these are. Suppose in your case, you might say you want to pay it off in 15 years. That's okay. You go to your calculator and put, and this is the loan. I am paying it. I am paying the loan in 30 years. And then write everything here. Interest rate, the bank is charging me 4.8%. Put the interest rate here. And then property taxes. You write here, the property taxes I am paying is, 1.2%. You make it up, whatever you want. There might be, maybe you already have a house. Yeah, think about maybe in your case it is 1.4. And then insurance, come up with whatever insurance you want. Don't put 1,500, come up with any you want. Of course, don't put PMI, but if you want to put 10% down payment, put the PMI. If you want to put home association fee, fine. And then you come here and tell what it is. Then you can write here, this is my monthly payment. Here you go, I click here, and then I put, this is my monthly. I'm sorry that it didn't show in here. Let me see if it shows here. This is my monthly payment. And then you can write what this number here is. That is how much I pay after 30 years. How much I pay after 30 years. In your case, you might do, if you want to put it 20 years, that's fine. But explain what it is. Okay, here you go. And then you can write what properties, taxes right here, and then you can write what this one is. That means this is the total amount of money that is costing me. You see, this is the total amount. And that is out of your pocket after 30 years. And you can put this is the house price. This is what you are borrowing. Here you go, borrowing. And here is your down payment. And you put your down payment. And then here is what you are totally paying. And this is a good number also, total interest. And then you come here and write a note here that if I want to pay off the mortgage after 5 years, I have to pay the bank how much? This is what I have to pay. There we go. I highlight it here and put it here. And then I will post this one in there. If you do not know how to do this, I want you to wait until one of the students does this. Some students, try to write as much information as you can. Suppose here, right, this is suppose this one 444. Write what it is. That, as you all know, is the total, taxes you will be paying in 30 years. Write what it is. This is $45,000 is what you are paying for home insurance for after 30 years. Therefore, you come here, choose the amount that you want. Maybe you want to buy a house for 50,000. That's okay. Put 50. That's very good. 50,000. And then you want to put 10% down. That's okay. You put 10% down. And you want to pay your mortgage in 15 years. You will change it in 15 years. Here you go. And then you come here, and your bank these days are not going to work with you. They charge you 7%. And then taxes here in West Virginia might be less, 1%. Insurance might be, instead of 1,500, it might be 1,200. And then PMI, most likely they want you, maybe annual PMI, they want $1,000 annually, that's $100, And if it is an apartment, there is a home association fee, and then you can click calculate. After you calculate, do you see your payment will be this one? You copy this one and post it on the discussion board the way I did, and, and make sure that, and then after you do that, you post your, let me post this one, and that is, I have created, here you go, I click post, and it is posted. I have created assignment for this calculator, for the mortgage, for amortization, for all of these. That way you learn how to use this calculator. Therefore, I come here. Let's not forget this website is called calculator.net. Let's not forget when you come here, when you click on content, you will see one of them is mortgage calculator, one of them is loan calculator. Therefore, you come back here and you will see when you click on financial and let's see loan calculator. And I don't know what, there was one for loan calculator, but we have other loan calculator. If you don't see it, that's okay because it was there when I, created. Let me see what else is there. Suppose house affordability calculator. I saw the link, house affordability calculator, and they are right in here. All of them are here. And if there are not, I will definitely make sure that it is there. Do whatever you find of these calculators, and one of them, for example, present value, future value. If you look at here, you come here. If we have some more here, if you click, do you see present value IRA calculator, annuity calculator, and they have future value calculator. Do you remember I talked about this? Therefore, you will find this calculator, and all you have to do is to change the numbers. As I said, you come here. Let's say if I ask you to create, I will give you a video for every one of these. That way you have some ideas what they are. But if you already know how they work, do it and explain what it is. That way you get, familiar with this, calculators. Excellent exercise because you always want to buy a loan, a car. You want to put, say you want to, know how much interest rates you are paying. You might buy CDs and you want to know about all of these. You want to know about retirements, and we will, these are the calculators are all here. And as I said, I create a video for every one of these videos, every one of these. That way you know what they are. If you already know about this, if you know what this is and how to do it, go ahead and find the loan calculator and post it here. House affordability, rent calculator was here. If you click here, I saw rent calculator somewhere in here. Let me see what it was, and retirement, other calculators. Therefore, you will find them here. Just I wanted you to, see here it is rent calculator. Suppose when I click here, if you know this, the video about this is that this is the income that you have per year, and then you click calculate, it will, calculate and says that the rent that you can pay with that salary is, is reasonable, is 1,867. Maybe you can then copy this one on the discussion board and explain what this is that you understood. And if your rent, if you make that much a year, if you are renting more than 2,400, 80,000, if you make $80,000, if your rent is more than 2,400, yeah, that's a risky, that you are taking, you have to look for something which is, 1,867. And also read all of these. These are such good information in here for all of you. And hopefully, I will, talk about this as well. I want you to just see this and we will talk.